I couldn't believe something could be so beautiful and powerful and engaging.
From the second I read the script, I was so moved. It's a story we haven't seen.
There is today, and there was in 1966, a place in this country where dreams can still come true.
About 5 years ago, maybe more, maybe 6 years ago or 7 years ago even, my wife one day said to me that she thought that she had remembered a project, a book that she had read when she was in junior high school, and it was a very sweet story, and she said, why don't you read it? I think it'd be something that you may want to do.
When you think of these great sports stories and great characters that lead their teams to victory, you don't say, girls high school basketball 1964.
It's been a while since we've seen a movie about female athletes, and we've never seen female basketball players on the big screen.
Feel personally that big money has ruined sports to a lot of degree, and here were people passionate about it simply for the love of the game.
Not just a group of girls, not just a school, but a town gets a chance to put its money where its mouth is. And that's what this movie is about.
First and foremost, when I realized that everything in the book had happened, and it was real, and that the subtext of the story was the dilemma of girls playing sports pre-Title IX, I took that seriously.
You know, there's so few scripts that I get and read that on the last page, the last line of dialogue, I wept. When
I read it, I said, potentially, this is lightning in a bottle.
Bob Collector, the writer-director, did a magnificent job translating the book from all the facts of what it was, covering many, many years, and put it into just 2 years in this wonderful, magical land of Middleton High School.
Mr. Collector, who is the patron saint of niceness on a movie, plus has an enormous ability.
I think he did an extraordinary job of adapting the book and really bringing it to life.
He really, through his passion, got me on board because this is an independent film and the parameters that go with that. But when I was exposed to the passion of his story and also the subtlety of his take on this, I said, you know, okay, I'm going to Clovis, New Mexico.
Push it in. Push. Whoa, what are you doing?
You said to pass it to Liz.
Not if she's not open. I'm guarding her now.
But you said to...
Well, you don't just pass because I said... Girls, sit down. When I'm trying to...
Our casting agents, Jane Jenkins and Janet Hershenson, kept talking about this Jeffrey Donovan character, who they believed was going to be a big star. We met him and were intrigued by him. He kept reading the part better than anybody else, and he seemed righter than anybody else. We all felt that he would, in fact, be Clay Driscoll.
Jeffrey is a spectacular talent. I'm hoping that somebody will take a look at him and say, you know, no one has told the story of Roy Rogers, and I think he'd be a brilliant Roy Rogers.
He just engulfed us with love, and you know, he told us, whenever you guys need, my trailer's available. If you guys need to hang out, if you need to talk or whatever, he's been a wonderful, wonderful coach. And with the acting, with the basketball playing, he's been there from jump through the entire time, a really positive influence.
Part of what was attractive to us was that if you see the movie and you see Jeff Donovan, you believe that he's Clay Driscoll.
There is no shame. None. It's nobody's fault. It's just biology. So what if it's not our blood? If it is meant to be, that's just as good, just as right.
For his wife, Samantha Mathis, was about as perfect as a Jean Driscoll as we could have ever hoped.
And Samantha, this is my second movie with her. We did Broken Arrow together, and she just shimmers with integrity, with talent, with beauty, and I just love being around her.
She's somebody who is very sophisticated when you meet her and has played more urban parts. To think that she could be this salt-of-the-earth country girl was a stretch, but she's so intelligent and so understood the character that we didn't feel it was a stretch.
Samantha has been a great role model for this. She's really connected with all the girls, and she's more of a sister figure to us now. She's really taken us under her wing and really helped us out.
We thought that she and Jeff looked right together. I come to find out after we cast them, they have a best friend in common. They knew each other prior to the making of the picture. They were very comfortable acting as a married couple, the basis of which was a deep respect and friendship.
My relationship with my wife in the movie, there's nothing I could have accomplished without her. And it taught me that Jeff, me the actor, I couldn't accomplish what I've done without Samantha.
Both of them were utterly delightful and very smart to work with.
Public comments are just that. You've had your 2 minutes. If there's board consensus, we'll put it on next month's conference agenda. Gentlemen, item 3 is up.
Next month?
Approval of
well, that's
district
almost
warrants
December.
and
It'll
claims.
take at least a month to get
Approval of district warrants and claims.
You can't wait any longer.
Sit down, you.
Bruce was an interesting choice because the character Brawley is the nemesis. And he's a Western nemesis, and as written, there are a number of people who play these kinds of roles, and they would have played them right on, been right on the nose with it. I was more comfortable with somebody who would come at it playing the part a different way.
I've enjoyed talking with Dernsey, as Jack Nicholson calls him, and I really have a sense with him, since he is my senior by 10 or 12 years, that I'm experiencing with him what others younger than me have experienced with me, and that is a kind of passing the baton to someone who may be coming up into your category of actor. And Dern and I have both played, bad guys, and of course he's had a distinguished career.
Those of us on the picture know that Bruce is a very smart but very hilarious guy. And he brings a sort of Durnian personality to everything he does, which is a little off base.
All right, you 4 out, Bruce stay in. Little twisters, I'm gonna put you in. You know my offense.
Yes, sir.
Move the ball around, see if you can unclog that middle. Bring it in. 1, 2, 3.
Going onto the basketball court and shooting a scene, it actually feels at a lot of moments that we're playing a real game. And it is important if we win this game. It is important if we make this play. We trained for like 2 weeks before we shot this, and that was really good for us to come together as a team.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I showed up at basketball camp and I saw 12 young ladies, half of them basketball players in high school and half of them actresses from Hollywood, running around with a real high school basketball coach and putting their hearts into it.
The first week was it was really hard. We got right into it. We were doing drills, we were running, and all getting to know each other at the same time.
It was a little difficult at first. The girls, we're all from different backgrounds.
You're kind of just thrown into a situation, very close quarters with people that you don't know, have never met, and who knows if you would have hung out with them before doing this.
Coming from never having stepped onto a movie set, coming from barely ever stepping onto a court.
I was the last one that arrived, And I was really, really scared and really, really nervous because it's like going to camp and not knowing anybody. And they just embraced me.
If you look at the way that we were when we first met each other and the distance that there were between a lot of the girls, and you look at us now and it's just like we've been together forever.
By the end of that basketball camp, you could have sworn these girls had been part of a team for years.
Now we're just like a big family, like I had on my high school team. So it really reminded me of home.
It was really interesting because up until that night, I didn't know how we were going to shoot it. If it was going to be a cutaway shot or what was going to happen, because no one told me.
I had in mind that same framing, and I told the storyboard artist what I wanted to see was the ball leave the actress's hand without a cut and go and sort of match television coverage. When the ball goes in, you can see the ball go in, you see the crowds, you see the bench, and you see the scoreboard all in the same frame.
And so I had this gut feeling of, you have to make this shot. And even though it was such an impossible shot.
By about the fourth take, when she rimmed the ball out, there was a tremendous level of excitement in the field house. And the crowd, the extras, were now rooting for Kristen to make it. Now, they weren't supposed to. One was supposed to be from Delaplane, the other Middleton, but it was emotional. It was kind of breathtaking to see.
And I was getting really flustered and upset, and they were coming over, they're like, it's fine. What we're asking you to do is impossible.
After we cut the scene, I went over to Kristen to say, look, just relax, and she started to cry because she so desperately wanted to make the shot and not let me down. And I said, don't be silly. You know, that's Michael Jordan is hard-pressed to make that shot.
We all thought we were going to be here all night long, and at first it looked like that.
I went over to Pat and I said, okay, this time to the girls, it's going to go in. We'll CG it. So play it as if it's real, everything else. And I said to her, I love you, you tried, don't worry about it. Shake it off, have fun. The AD then went and told the crowd, through the magic of Hollywood, this ball's going in, so let's all do it. And we started again, we called action 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. I'm sitting in front of a bank of monitors that are attached to all the cameras, and I had the funniest feeling, 8, 7, 6, and I just got up away from the monitors and stood up so that I could see above everybody, 5, 4, 3, and she threw it.
And all of a sudden, she just flung it in. And the electricity in that gym.
The auditorium, the whole gym, as if it levitated. It was pandemonium. Pandemonium. This wasn't acting. When everybody ran on the floor, I wasn't acting. I sat in shock. Everyone was in shock. So the crowd on the floor when the girls jumped on Kristen Bright was for real. I had never felt anything like that. It took the whole company about a half an hour to settle down.
Just the feeling of, I can't believe I actually made it. 1,000,000 to 1 odds, and it happened. And in that moment, I became Pat, and I think we all became the team. And afterwards, it was funny, I was talking to my dad, who's a basketball coach, and I was trying to think of, as happy as I was, if we actually just had won the state championship off that shot.
It's been great to shoot in Clovis, the small town where we started. Really lent itself for me, and I think for everybody. It really helped us to get into character in just slowing down, learning to slow down.
You know, I love it because the scale of a town that's small allows you to really get to know it.
The people, for the most part, are really, really sweet and really family-oriented and are so excited to have us here. So it's just kind of adopting an extended family for 5 weeks.
The way people deal with each other in Clovis and lots of small towns, the graciousness and people's friendliness really fed me in terms of downshifting to 1964 and being in a small town.
Be yourselves, and don't get rattled when the booing starts, because it'll start quick. You just remember who you are out there. You're my girls.
I think the movie is going to be a big surprise to a lot of people at a time when, you know, who knows what the country needs, but I think the country could use a movie like this right now.
I think that it's the kind of movie that will appeal to young people, will appeal to adults, will appeal to sports fans, to both men and women. It's really a universal story.
It's the first time I've ever worked with this many girls, and know I'm so close to them, and know I'm going to stay in contact with them. And even if we don't talk every day, there's that bond that's there forever that you can't take away.
This movie couldn't achieve what it has without the spirit and the heart of those 12 actresses playing my Lady Cyclones.
As I look back on my career, which I don't do very often, I don't pick out specific films, but this will go, and of the 60 or so that I've done, I would certainly put this in the top 5.
The movie is not so much about basketball. Basketball is a vehicle for telling a story about the human spirit.